Welcome, welcome. It's that time. This is just going to be fun. So today we're sewing 4222. I'll tell you right away that the purpose is a fundraiser. But if you donate $20 to Fit-2-Stitch, so you go to fit2stitch.com, donate $20 and we'll send you the pattern and no charge. And that's total, no shipping at everything. That's everything. That's a good deal, huh? And I'll tell you why I picked this dress, because everybody should have it. It is, it's called Geo's Fit and Flare, and it's got the cape that goes with it. I'll show you the cape. I did the cape for the one we're sewing today. It's just a marvelous little dress. A little polka dot, sleeveless with the little cape over it. Polka dot knit. It's a knit dress. It's for knits. It looks good on everyone. I don't care what you think you look like. It will look good on you. It's one piece, one color. You can have the cape. You can do the cape different colors. You can do scarves. You can do so many things with it that I'm saying to you, this should be part of your wardrobe. For 20 bucks, it can be. Okay, and then this, what I did is I added, I should tell you the fabric numbers. Well, these fabric numbers is gone. This fabric number is 6395. And what I did is I added length. So there's a bodice and there's a little dart. It's kind of a halfway in between a regular dart and a French dart, kind of halfway. So there's a dart, B, C, and D cup. And then you've got panels around here that make the bottom flare. So this one I did exactly like the pattern. This one I added 3 inches to the bottom so that it would have a little blouson effect, which is very flattering also. If you have just something that you want to cover, you're nervous or whatever about, you can add a few inches and make it a blouson. And I did a belt underneath and then just made it the little blouson. This, I love this. This is kind of like a ribbed knit. Very pretty, very easy to sew. Again, $63.95. Okay, I have on 65.18. This is the kite, that navy kite, which I just love. I mean, I just love it. It feels like I have my pajamas on. I hope it doesn't look like I have my pajamas on, but I feel like I have my pajamas on. And then today we're going to sew with this fabric. I just love this fabric too. It's called 6513. It's blue clouds or something like that, but you're going to see. And what I did is, we're going to sew the dress. In this case, we're going to make it sleeveless, and we're going to make a little cape that goes with it. But this sleeve is a knit sleeve, and I actually wore this dress yesterday. I had a couple meetings that I went to, and I threw a jacket on over it. And because it's a knit sleeve and it's, you know, just right there at your arm size, it went down a lined jacket without any problem. So by putting a sleeve on it, I think it enables you to wear it with things or by itself. Of course, sleeveless is the same thing. This one does not have a sleeve. And I just love this, and I wear this plenty. Okay, so we're going to have some fun. Again, the goal is really, it's simple. I want you to see that there's nothing in this dress that you all can't do. There's no reason it won't fit. I would go ahead and do a muslin because y'all know I'm a muslin-holic. But that's just a check. Do you like where the waist hits? It's not at the waist. It's actually supposed to be above the waist, just FYI. But do you like where that is? Do you like, you know, it's kind of really more to check styling. You know, you want to make sure that the armhole, the shoulder is right, that the sleeve and all that. It is the same base as 195. So when we talk about the dress fitting, we're doing 195. It's just the styling's been changed on the sweater set. So if everybody's ready, 20 bucks makes it yours. All you have to do is do donation and do $20 or more. You can do more. Y'all are allowed to do more. We are in a really tough, we've got 2 weeks. Well, we don't even have 2 weeks. We've got less than 2 weeks. And we are not even close, okay? So we need your help. So we appreciate you all being here, and we appreciate you supporting the show. That's what it's all about. Okay, so we don't necessarily have the guide sheets today, but many of you have this pattern. It was in our spring patterns for last spring. It'd be a year ago. Okay, it was new out for spring because the dress is perfect. I really think of it as a year-round dress. I have worn it year-round because in the wintertime, it's just adorable with just tights and boots underneath. It just works so well. I've done it shorter and I've worn it with leggings. But it's perfect for summertime right now. It's hot and you just make it cool and comfortable. You wear a couple little garments underneath, your foundation garments, and that's it. It's just easy and simple. So it's nice. It's just a good base dress. Okay, so let's start sewing. We've got just 2 darts in the front, and you all know we've sewn those many times, nothing that you all can't handle. I don't think you'll have to move them up, down, around, because remember, they're a French dart, and where the French dart comes in from underneath and goes up, chances are you just won't have to move it at all. And you guys, we are monitoring questions, so if you have questions, let us know. We have a couple giveaways here, so you want to, make sure you're signed in. All right, so you all know I'm a big believer in starting at the tip of the dart. That's the point that everybody's going to see. Point, did y'all get that? Okay, just checking. That's the part that everybody's going to see. So just want to make sure that you get that first. And then it's really so easy to make the rest very gradual. And I'm an old school, I just dropped my scissors. Old school that I tie off the tip of the dart. Don't like to backstitch. It eats the fabric. I've never been a backstitcher at that dart point. But you guys know, it's your garment, you get to sew it the way you want, right? That's the rules here. It's silhouette pattern land. You get to sew the garment the way that makes you happy. All right, so somebody asked me the other day, is it critical to press as you sew? Critical? Critical to me is like life and death, so the answer is no. So I decided today I'm not going to press as I sew. And you're going to see it when it's finished. You're going to tell me what you think, okay? Now, for all of you who have sewn for a lot of years, there's the top. Isn't that cute already? For a lot of you who have sewn for a lot of years, you're just going to have a corn area at that comment. But you're going to hang tight till the end. I got my scissors, hang on. And just see what you think. I think a lot of the answer is actually dependent upon the fabric. I think it depends on if you put sleeves in. I don't think I could put a sleeve in without an iron, but I'm making this sleeveless today, so I think it might be okay. But pressing does take time, and so we're going to see if we can't do it without. But this is a simple project, and again, the reason I picked this pattern is so that you all could see how simple it is. Okay, so I've constructed the front. I put the darts in the front. I always cut out my patterns right sides together. Always, I always do. Because that way I don't really have to mark the right side. I just know they're right sides together. I can open it up and put it together. Now we do not have a camera. For some reason our cameras are really upset at each other and they're having a hard time. So we don't have a camera on the serger. But I took it off the serger because I figured that it wasn't a big deal to have it on the serger. But we still have a lot of cords back here, so it's going to take me a minute to get past all these cords. All right, so all I'm doing right now is I'm doing the 2 shoulder seams. And I've left the sewing machine and I'm doing the world of the serger. So that's shoulder seam number 1. Are you guys sewing with me? I probably could have had those 2 shoulder seams done while I was gabbing. Shoulder seam number 1, shoulder seam number 2. Now, before you do shoulder seam number 2, you want to go ahead and serge the neck edge because you're going to turn it under. So I'm going to do that. And I always start at the front because that shoulder seam, the seam itself, I want it to go toward the back. And so as I start in the front, it will automatically push the seam to the back without ironing. So I don't really have to iron that. All right, so now I've got that neckline all finished, ready to be turned under and hemmed. And I'm going to do the second shoulder seam. All right, there we go. Now also, I'll use pins as I go. I don't use pins to necessarily put the pieces together as much as I use pins so to indicate, I'll show you, like this seam right here is already pushed to the back because I knew that was the back. So on this seam over here, I'll just put a little pin on here, especially if I'm not pressing. And I'll put one on the other seam too, so that I know which way the seam goes and that the whole entire seam will go the same direction. I'm going to shorten my stitch just a little bit here. Seems to be a little bit too long. Okay, see there, isn't that cute? So because I'm doing this sleeveless, I'm going to go ahead and do the armhole because I'm just going to serge it and turn it under. Okay, so we got a couple questions. I love questions. Let's answer your questions. Not sure how to select the pattern on the Fit-to-Stitch donation page. Oh, that's a good question. You don't have to. If you donate $20 or more, we're going to send you a pattern. If you donate $15, you won't get one. But all you do, if you go to donations, you don't have to select anything. That's the beauty of it. You actually can donate the whole amount because technically they don't know you got a pattern. So, and we found another way around it legally, so we're good. So you can donate the whole, you know, typically if you go to your tax return and if you write off your donations, you have to do the donation minus the value. You don't have to do that because it's a pure donation. So it's a little bonus for you all. It's a little bonus for us. When donated to Fit-to-Stitch, do you choose the donate $5 and go up to 20? Yes, thank you. I've been wanting to add this pattern to my collection. Yay, everybody. All we need is, let's see, 1,000 of you to buy the pattern. That's all we need. And another 1,000 to buy the DVD, the 1200 series. That's it. We'll make it. It'll be no problem. Hi, Peggy. Do you have a video making the blue jean jacket made with denim and fabric? I have the pattern fabric, not sure if it needs interface. No interfacing. No, but the guide sheet is really good. I don't know that we've ever done a sew-along on the jean jacket. I'm not sure, but that instruction sheet is really, really spot on. I've made it many, many times, and it's really easy. Which pattern is this for? Let me know when you get a chance. This is for 4222. This one. 4222. It's called Gio's Fit and Flare. And it's got the detachable cape and scarf. Okay? All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm just doing the armhole. Thanks for being here, everybody. Don't go with serger pins. Sewing machine sergers do not like pins. Both will come out badly damaged. All right, so again, we had an issue with the camera, you guys, so we decided that the sewing machine was probably better. Serger is all kind of big action anyway. It's not really small action. So I'm just doing the armholes. And I'm just finishing them off with a serger. I want to make sure that when you serge that seam, it goes the right way. Okay, armholes are done. What am I going to do next? Side seams. So this is the cool thing about this little dress, you guys. You're actually going to make the top. And you're going to make it completely before you add the skirt to it. Then we're going to make it the skirt, then we're going to put it together. But the cool thing about doing this way is you can try the top on. And it's only 2 little pieces of fabric. And so you can say, oh, I don't like that, or I like it, or it's perfect, or this is what I want to change. So when I say do a muslin, I don't think you really have to do a muslin of the skirt. You really only have to do a muslin of the top portion to see if you like the length, where it hits you, all that kind of stuff. Now this one I cut an inch longer because on me I like it an inch longer. All right, put that there. Let's do the other side. And we're going to serge that together. And then we're going to go back to the sewing machine. And we're going to finish off the top. So that means we're going to finish off the top. We're going to hem the neckline. We're going to hem the armholes. And I added to both the front and the back, and I didn't measure. And I knew I shouldn't have done that, but I didn't. So. And I'm seeing that these 2 side pieces don't match. The actual pattern does match, I promise. It's just a little bit off. So I'm going to trim that up now. It's the same exact amount off on both sides. So we're just going to trim that up. I thought my eyes were better than that, but you know what? As I get older, I realize that you really should measure. It's really better. I mean, even though you sew a lot and you get better and better and better, I think it's just a good idea to just measure. Then I wouldn't have to even be doing this. Okay, so now they're even front and back. And that's what I wanted. Okay, so what we're going to do is switch to the sewing machine. And we're going to take and hem the neckline and the armholes. And this we can do a little camera for. So for whatever reason, when I'm doing a neckline, I always start at a shoulder seam. I don't know why, but I just do. And you're just going to turn under 3/8, not a lot. You can, if you're not used to doing this, you know, you can press this beforehand. But remember, we're not pressing today. I'm just turning that under 3/8 of an inch. I'm feeding it right into my little foot. Keeping my, you can see I'm keeping my distance there the same continually. Don't pull. If you don't have a table, just still don't pull. Just don't pull. Sometimes we have a tendency to pull when we want to get something straight. Just don't pull. Just push down. That's the best thing to do. And in this particular case, I think it'd be pretty to use a white or a blue. I chose a white. I just love the fabric. It's just really pretty. Okay, let's answer a couple questions. What fabric is required for the scarf? Oh, how much fabric? A yard. I mean, a yard doesn't quite actually make it because the measurements are a little bit bigger than a yard. But if you buy it for the dress, a yard will do it. Okay, that goes all the way around, and that means that the neck is finished. When you are doing your muslin, you want to just be careful of, I call it overhandling, because I see a lot of women in classes, and they try on and they try on and they try on, trying to get the fit right, but they're just overhandling the fabric. So isn't that cute? Isn't that cute? It's adorable. That little top is just adorable. It's perfect for summer. It's a great little neckline. It's just adorable. Okay, so let's do the armholes. I'm going to do both of them. Then we'll switch back to the serger and we'll start on the skirt. This is just fun and easy and simple. And again, with the armhole, I'm always going to start at the side seam when it's sleeveless. And again, you know, that's your call, up to you. I'm just serging the edge. I did use, so this would be a knit armhole, and I did use my sleeveless template. So if you don't have a sleeveless template, you could go to like a tank top that you have, that you wear, that you like. Put a French curve on it. Copy that. Add seam allowance to it. And then compare it back to the knit armhole that's on this one. Very easy process. And you'll never get, you know, like an armhole that's too low. You'll never mess that up. It's very frustrating to get an armhole that's too low because I don't have a way to fix, I don't know how to fix that. Not and have it be good. All right, so see, this is so quick, so easy. Just kind of sit down, chill, and keep on sewing. And I'm coming around to where I started. I overstitch a little bit, just a few stitches, then I just cut my threads. I don't think there's a need to backstitch. You've already overstitched. And we've got all those threads and we're going to cut them out. All right, now we're going to do the next one, the next armhole. And we're going to answer a question first. Hang on just a second. All right. You using a small zigzag stitch? No, I'm using a straight stitch. I'm using a straight stitch at 3.5. You have mentioned your cover stitch machine. Have you used it? No. Would this be a good project for the cover stitch machine? Yes. I shouldn't say I haven't used it. I've taken it out of the box and I have set it up and I'm so excited. I look at it, I talk to it, but I haven't actually put it onto a garment yet. And the only reason I haven't, it's called Fit-2-Stitch. When Fit-2-Stitch is over, I bet probably the next day I will sew on that machine. Honestly, I can't wait. I just don't, you know, I don't want to keep saying it. Time is difficult right now. So that's all. You know, I always say when. We have expression around the work. It's post-BBS. We're going to get all this done post-BBS. Now, I mean, we're filming in a couple weeks, so you can imagine it's a lot. It's a lot going on. But only because we want to do an amazing show for you all. We want you to get your money's worth. We want to really, and you know, we are, you know, we're coordinating with the collection, the Texas Fashion Collection. This is a really big deal. Nobody's ever done it before. You guys will just be blown away. It's beautiful. And I would think of all of our DVDs, to me personally, this would really be one to have in your collection because we're talking garments from Galliano, back in the 30s, the 40s. You know, these are garments that, like Karl Lagerfeld, some that are in the collection. That there's a display going on right now in New York. We've got some garments that are similar. And Michael Faircloth is presenting some of these garments. So we're just thrilled and we're excited. We're also excited for it to be filmed. It's just been a lot of work. So, but we're getting there and we're excited. We're happy. Okay. For fun, could you use a contrasting folder of elastic for the neck? Absolutely. You know, I think it really helps. I think it's a really good question. But what you really want to do is have a vision. So I had a vision for this, and I'll share it with you so that you can understand why I made the choices I made. Here's a little top. I envisioned this with little white capris, and I've already made the little wrap to go with it. So just adorable, like even outdoors for a concert, just, you know, a little dress, capris under it, just so I can like sit down on a blanket for a concert. Not even to where they'll show, just like to have something underneath. And so I wanted to keep it light and white and bright. So that was my vision. So we've got the necklines done, the armholes done. On the pattern envelope, the bust measurements are bigger than the waist. Are they reversed, or is the top larger than the waist? The bust measurements are bigger than the waist. Why would the bust measurements be smaller than the waist? No, they're correct. To answer the question, the short of it is they're correct. Which pattern is Peggy sewing? We're here for fun at 4222. Y'all are so loyal, you're going to be here even if you don't even know what I'm doing. We're doing 4222. 4222, Geo Fit and Flare. So I'm going to say it again if you just joined in. It's a fundraiser. If you donate $20, Fit-2-Stitch will send you the pattern. Is that a deal? Great deal. Okay, so this is the part where you put on the little top. You stop, you put it on, you try this, and you see how it fits. Okay? And you're going to say, oh man, I could just make that longer and make a cute little dress out of it. Yes, you could. Okay, we're good. Let's go to the skirt now. We're going to sew the bottom part. I shouldn't have worn a navy because all the wrinkles get on, not the wrinkles, but the little lenties get onto the navy. Okay, so again, we don't have a camera on the serger, but this is just kind of, we can talk while we're sewing because it's kind of brainless. Is that a fair statement? I've cut on the skirt, you've got 8 panels. Remember, I always cut out right sides together. So all I'm going to do is like go press the motor and go fast and go. I'm doing 2 panels at a time. This fabric, you can't really see a lot of difference between the front and the back, which is why I actually really liked it. There's one. The next 2, they're already right sides together. I don't need to relay them or reposition them. I don't need to pin them. I just go to sew them together. 3/8 of a seam allowance. And the question is, will purchasing other patterns on the Fit-2-Stitch donation page help your requirement? Oh, yes. How do I say yes to that? Yes. Anything on that Fit-2-Stitch site, every 100% goes to Fit-2-Stitch. Promise I don't take a salary. I get nothing. Except someday an educated group, which is really, would be awesome. Everybody else gets paid, but I don't, All of that money goes to anything you buy on Fit-2-Stitch is amazingly helpful. Yes, 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 yes. Okay, now I want to show you this pattern because this is the way the pattern looks for the skirt. Now, when I added to the top up here, I added 2 inches to the top. Add 2 inches up here because it'll keep the proportion the same. And now, if you don't want the skirt longer, don't add here. And if you just want the waistline lower, add here. But just watch those proportions because we did it, I think it's a 1 to 2. It's a 1 to 1.5. The top is 1 to 1.5. So in trying to keep those proportions the same, when I add to the top, I add to this portion. If you add to the bottom, then the skirt can just get too full and too large around. But if you just add to the top up there, it changes nothing and it preserves those proportions. I think I'm not supposed to talk while the sewing machine's going. All right. Oh, column, are they going to ask him for columns?
No, I was asking.
Oh, you're asking for huh? Oh, okay. So we have the columns in, you guys. We're having some technical difficulties behind the scenes, so we're trying to fix everything we can all at one time. Okay, so let's go to column 1. We'll just review what we've done. Let's go to column 1 first. And you guys, again, I'm just sewing that skirt, piece of cake. And column 1, you can see, bam, those 2 darts. And I did that right in the very beginning. So let's go to column 2, if you don't mind. Column 2 is, you can see that that's when I did the neck edge. It's setting in the sleeve if you put in a sleeve, but because I didn't put a sleeve, I just hemmed the armhole, but that's all column 2 is. So now if you go to the next column, you can see that what we're doing, oh, that's setting the sleeve in. We skipped that column. Now do you go to the next column? And this is going to be the last column, you guys. See, this is a really easy skirt, really easy dress. So you can see that this is what I'm doing. I'm sewing all these sections together. The reason I do 2, 2, 2, and 2, there's 8 total, I do 2, 2, 2, and 2 is because now I've got all of the right sides flagged, especially when I'm dealing with a fabric like this where there's not a lot of difference between the front and back. And you always say that there's not a lot of difference between front and back until you're finished with them and you put them on and then you say, oh, that one was backwards. So then I'm sewing 4 together. So I start with 2 together and I clearly know which is the right side and the wrong side. Now I'm going to do 4 together and then we do 8 together. So easy sewing. Nothing that is any of you cannot do. You don't have the serger, you do it on a sewing machine. A knit does not need a serger. Knits aren't going to go anywhere on you. This dress is a knit dress. If you wanted to do it in a woven, you could, but you'd have to figure out a way to get it off and on, and then you'd have to make a larger size because this relies on negative ease. So often I will compare sewing to jigsaw puzzles because to me the goal is to end up with one piece at the end, no matter how many pieces you start with. So now I've only got 2 skirt pieces. I had 8, now I'm down to 2. Well, after I sew this, I'm down to 2. Okay, can this be watched as a replay later? Yes. Yes, just here's the deal. Every time you watch it, you have to donate. That's not true. It's free. We're just going to keep begging for donations if that's okay with you guys. I missed a beat. If I had 2 inches to the top to make it a blouson, okay, wait. You did miss that. I also had 2 inches to the bottom. No, that's not what I said. So let me just clarify. I added 3 inches to make it a blouson. 2 inches is probably not enough to make it a blouson. A blouson has to go up and come back down. You usually need at least 1.5 inches to do that, so that's why I made it 3. So the one over there, I did make blouson, and I added 3 inches, only to the top, not to the bottom. I didn't make any changes to the bottom. Okay, for this one, I wanted it to be lower on me. I just wanted it to hit me lower, that's all. I wanted the waistline to hit me lower. So I added 2 inches to the top, and because I did that to keep the proportion, I added 2 inches to the top of the skirt. It's just amazing how you can take the same information and translate it very differently. Okay, and hopefully that makes sense to everybody. And I'm glad you clarified, because you would have told everybody, yeah, but Peggy told me to do this. And no, I didn't. Okay, so now I've got 2 pieces of 4. Now I'm going to make 1 piece of 8. And like I said, by doing this and starting off simple, you don't have to realign everything, because you've got your right sides together when you cut out, and you're going to sew it right sides together. So there's just nothing to realign at all. You notice that you don't need a pin. You cut it all at the same time, so it's not like, I don't know the reason to pin. Whoops. Just kind of look ahead, and you can see that I always sew like that. Keep this hand behind, and just go. And these blue clouds are so pretty. My goodness. All right, are we okay for questions? All right, one more seam, and we have made it a 1-piece skirt. Isn't it pretty? It's very pretty. You know, it is flared at the bottom. If you want to add more flare, add equal sides. I'm kind of going to show you that. So if I want this is what it looks like. If I wanted to do more flare, but I wouldn't decide that unless I'd measured something else and I'd measured the inches at the bottom. But you're going to add equally to both sides and then taper up. Or if I wanted less flare, I can take away equally from both sides, then I can flare up to the top. Very easy to do. Do we donate on your webpage or on Fit-2-Stitch webpage? No, it has to all be Fit-2-Stitch. Fit-2-Stitch is actually a separate corporation. They are not related at all. Fit-2-Stitch is a 501c. It is a nonprofit. It is for education, and there is no profit made on Fit-2-Stitch. And we did that to where those donating to Fit-2-Stitch could donate freely, you know, and get the advantage. Because, you know, if your hearts are in the right place and you try to donate something, the IRS still wants the 501c. So if you were to donate to Silhouette Patterns, and we had this back when we were doing the Toys for Tots, you would donate to Silhouette Patterns, which was really kind, but then you didn't get the write-off, and that didn't make sense. You're better off to donate directly to Toys for Tots. And so we switched that around, so now we have the Toys for Tots under the 501c, so that when we do those sew-alongs in December, you can donate either way. You can donate directly to Toys for Tots or Fit-2-Stitch, either one. Okay, but a lot of negative ease at the bust? No, it's your choice of negative ease. These are finished garment measurements. The only reason it would have a lot is if you're going into a size that's a lot smaller than your bust. You could make it equal to your bust. It just depends on how you like to wear the dress. So you don't choose it by your waist size, you choose the dress by your bust size. Okay? Is the knit used two-way stretch? No, this is one-way stretch, just FYI. But that was a good question. How do I donate? Go to, we're really not feeding these questions, you guys. Go to fit2stitch.com. On that page it says donations. Go down to donations, and it's $5 increments. So you could donate 1,000 $5 increments. You can donate anything you want. But if you donate $20 or more, we'll send you the pattern today free. Okay, does that help? How much stretch is the fabric you are sewing on? If I take 4 inches, you know, like maybe 1.5 to 1. Does that help? Okay, so now I finished all the skirt is one piece. I'm going to hem the bottom. well, I'm not going to hem it. I'm just going to serge the bottom. And when I do that, I serge it from the right side. Now, if you're doing a cover stitch, you just do your cover stitch right now. But I serge it, I'm just finishing the edge. I serge it from the right side. And for the skirt, I have all the seams going the same direction. That's all. Just make sure they all go in the same direction, because you want to make sure it's going the same direction at the top too. If you were pressing it as you go, you would press now. I always press the skirt, I press the top, and then I put the two together. But it doesn't hurt to not press it. Especially in this case, it doesn't impair the construction at all. Sometimes I think it does, but it doesn't in this case. Okay. It appears we could make the skirt as just a skirt too. Is that an option? Yes, yes, that's a great option. Just put elastic around the waist. Or, I mean, it's pretty, remember this is kind of fitted at the top, and so the waist is somewhat fitted. So yeah, you can absolutely do that. Great idea. So this is a really great base pattern. That's why I said everybody should have this pattern. All right, so I'm just going all the way around. And then we'll hem this on the sewing machine. But again, if you have a cover stitch machine, this would be the time to, you're going to save a step. Almost back to the beginning. Look at there we are. Went all the way around the world. All right, and we're just going to cut that off evenly, and that is a beautiful pile of trimmings. Okay, so we're going to go to the sewing machine and we're going to hem it. And I'm going to be careful of all these cords. We're going to put the top away for just a minute. I'm going to show you a really cool way to join these together. I shouldn't say it's really cool, but it's really simple. I think it's really easy. So I'm just going to walk you through. As soon as I hem this, I'll do it. We could leave it without hemming it. Should we hem it? Well, let's hem it. Let's hem it. Okay, having trouble making donation. No place to put in total donation. Okay, so go to fit2stitch.com, go to donations, and go to the donation page, and you'll see some patterns. But below that, it says donation. It says $5. So you add that to cart, and then that says 1 is $5. If you make it 4, it will be $20, and that's when we'll send you the pattern. And I've already joked that you could make it way more than that, but you know what I'm saying, guys. Okay, does that help? Let me know that that helps you. Do we have to donate during the sew along? When does it? No, no, no. This will go all the way through a week from Sunday. Yeah, no, it'll go all the way from a week from Sunday. Tomorrow we'll send out an email letting you know, because a lot of people don't even know about it. So no, it doesn't. You don't have to do this today. All right, so see what I'm doing? I'm turning this up just to seam allowance. It is a flared skirt, so you can't have more than, a seam allowance for the hem. If you do, you'd have to if you want more, you'd have to have a facing, because the skirt, the flare changes, and so you couldn't just turn up like an inch. You'd have a mess. Okay, again, if you were pressing, nothing wrong with pressing this first. I think it makes it a little easier, but I've hemmed so much stuff in my days that you just head it in and keep going. And you can see that the seams are serged all the same direction, and so that makes it easy too. Okay, and then all we have left is to join the two together. Is that cool? And then I want to put it on a mannequin for you. Okay, we're okay with questions? And we're still on that last, column. But that's all the columns we have, so The very last column in the pattern is just making the cape. But I already did that, and I'll just show you, I'll explain to you how to do it. So this is great to practice hemming on because it's a lot of inches around. All right, Peggy, are you using a Teflon foot? This poor Teflon foot never leaves my machine. Talk about marriage. This machine and this Teflon foot, they are married. Yes. I'm using a Teflon foot. I guess I could have answered that just straight. You didn't need my commentary, did you? Yes, I am using a Teflon foot. And you all know why I'm using a Teflon foot, right? Everybody should sew with a Teflon foot. The concept of why it was created, I'm not sure why they would tell you to ever take it off. It doesn't make any sense to me, but... I can actually see the beginning. This table really helps you guys. I don't know if you do tables, but boy, these tables really help. They just really help keep it straight, and it's so much easier to have a bigger, flatter surface. But I have to declare, y'all know we sell tables, right? Okay. Look at, you can see the beginning. Look, 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 there it is, there it is, there it is. So overstitch a little bit, and then once you get there, I can just cut. And I have a hemmed skirt. So all the pieces became one, and they're hemmed. And the top is done. Oh my goodness, it is getting exciting. Okay, so now I want to show you something. If you take, we're going to connect the two together, and all we have to do is serge them. Do we have a question? Oh, you know, we didn't have our giveaway. Should we have a giveaway real quick? What's good about a Teflon foot? The bottom of the Teflon foot is Teflon. That sounds really silly. Probably the whole thing is Teflon, but the bottom is Teflon, and so Teflon glides. So when you have a sewing machine, all the pull is coming from the bottom. All the pull is coming from the presser feet down here. And so the foot itself, the presser foot, really becomes a drag. Like, not literally, I mean literally, it becomes a drag. And so that Teflon foot helps relieve the drag between the top and the bottom layers. So I always use a Teflon foot because that drag always exists. Okay, so let's have a giveaway. We have 2 giveaways today. And the one pattern that we're going to give away, you know that number? Yeah. You guys are the best customers on the planet. You all know that. And so as you have duplicates, or maybe you've ordered something in a package and it came with a duplicate that you didn't need, you've sent them back, and we will give them out to customers as we get them back. So this first one I chose, we have a few that we need to give away, and we kind of pace them, you know, a little bit at a time. But anyway, so this one I chose because it's a dress, and I thought it's perfect for today because we're doing dresses, and summer dresses are amazing, and I love this dress. And the code on this particular dress, you ready, is 4015. 4015. If you'll hand me that pattern, do you mind? And I'll show this to you, you guys. Okay. We'll take my little love note on it. I'm not supposed to say her name, but thank you. So this is 4015, Sophia's dress. And this is also a knit dress. It's adorable. It's just adorable. This is still for sale. It's still available. She just had gotten duplicates, and so she was cleaning out and decided to send them back to us so that we could give them away. So 4015, put in the numbers, the 4 numbers, put in 4015. Make sure they're the right sequence, make sure they're the right order, all that. And I'm going to start to explain this a little bit, and then we'll come up with a winner, okay? All right, so I'm going to lay the top right on the table. And then I'm going to take the skirt, and so the way the pattern is made is you've got 8 panels. The panels are equal. 4 go in the front, 4 go in the back. So I'm going to lay it down right underneath, so the side seams are going to hit the side panels, those side seams. And I'm going to, so you've got wrong sides together on the top and wrong sides together on the skirt. And then you're just going to peek up into the skirt. And the first thing you're going to do is you're going to grab the side seam. Now remember that the side seams are all pressed, well, they'd be pressed forward this way. And the side seam is pressed backwards. So in this particular case, they'll go opposite directions. And I put a pin right there. Okay, so does everybody understand where I'm at? I took the top, I put it down, I put the skirt, I put it down, wrong sides together, just as if they were sewn, and lift the skirt up above the top and go in and grab the 2 seams, the side seam of the top in the skirt and the side seam of the side seam in the skirt. Grab those 2. Now, in this particular case, the seam goes backwards and this one goes forward. So put a pin in there. And so now you can see that you've basically got the top and the skirt and the top and the skirt left to pin together, but you've got those 2 equaled, anchored at the side seams. So now you can just go back and, you've got it laying down, so don't pull anything tremendously. Your seams are all going the same direction, and at every pin, at every seam, just put a pin. It's a 1-to-1, so don't stretch it any crazy. All your seams are going the same direction. So even though we haven't pressed, I'm going to press the bottom seam and the top of the seam the same way. And look at that. It just all goes together. Easy enough. Now here I've got a little bit where the top is a little smaller than the skirt. So I'm just going to ease it right back around just slightly. See, I've got that little bit of extra. Just go gentle and divide it. Don't put it all in one panel. Just work it backwards until you've got a little bit in each one, and that's perfect. It means that I either cut it a little different or I didn't sew it quite enough, but it's all good. Okay, and then I'm going to put a pin in between the panels just to make sure that when I'm easing that in, I ease it proportionally. All right, then I do the same thing with the back. The front's done, and you can see the back is here and the skirt is here. So remember, the seams are all going forward, or the same direction. I guess it's in the back, it's forward, but in the front it's, whatever. Anyway, so I'm going to put a pin in the direction of that seam so I can make sure that the top and the bottom of the seam are being pressed the same way, so that when I do go to press it, it will, you won't have that seam going part of the way, part of the seam. That just doesn't lay right. It doesn't look right. Okay. Then here again, I've got a little bit of extra here. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to ease it back in. Okay, and then put a seam in the middle, and that will just stabilize everything as you're sewing it together, that you won't have any extra. Got a little bit of extra there. I'll just scoot this over a little bit. So those seams are really big helpers as far as getting everything correct into place. I love the skirt idea. Can I overlap the seams of the pattern pieces and just cut 2 pieces for the skirt? Yes and no. I mean, you can do anything you want. I'm a big believer in that, but you're not gonna. So part of the reason the skirt has such a pretty flounce to it is that fullness or style or all that is created by the bias. By overlapping the panels, you can't have as much bias as you can by creating the panels. That's why I did the panels. That's why I did the number I did. This original dress I copied was an acris, and I actually copied the dress. I measured the bottom, I measured the flare, I measured the fullness of the flare, where the flare was. You know, those are all, you know, they may not look great, but those are all very great little details about the skirt that really make this dress beautiful. So when you go to overlap these, you lose, you know, you can't get the bias that this dress has. Now that doesn't mean you can't do it, but just be aware that you're not going to be able to end up with the same look when you start combining those panels. But yes, you can do it. So when we want to add the sleeves, we could just use the sleeve from 195. It has a sleeve in it. It has a sleeve in the pattern. And yes, it is the sleeve from 195. Yes. Could have stretched a bit. Would it be good to do a removable stay stitch? No, please don't. No, stop. Don't add. The whole reason I do a sew along is so we keep it simple. Don't add in steps. If you take and add in a stitch, then you're stretching it even more. If it's stretched, I don't know that it's stretched. I could have cut it wrong. There could be, you know, I'm not perfect. There's a million variables that could have happened here. Don't add to it and make it worse. Just simply do what I did. And look, it's perfect. It's now a 1-to-1. And all I'm going to do is serge all the way around. Okay, don't make it more complex or don't add to the problem. All right? Good question, though. Sorry? Oh, giveaway. I'm sorry. Oh, Phyllis Costa. Congratulations. Phyllis, you won the giveaway. 4015. If you'll email me, Peggy@silhouettepatterns.com, and just tell me that you won 4015, we'll put it in the mail to you. Congratulations, and thanks for watching, Phyllis. We really appreciate it. And we've got one more giveaway. While I'm hemming this skirt, maybe we could do that. All right, and I'm going to start to, are we okay to do, yeah. And so all you're going to do is, again, go in the direction. What I do is I put the skirt down because the skirt has all the seams at the top. So put the skirt down so that you don't have to worry about the seams. And it doesn't matter, you know, which way the seams are going because you've got them pinned and they'll go the way you have them. And you can see this is just a really easy thing to sew these two together. No stress, no pulling. You've got a 1-to-1 here. You've got it evenly divided. I love that somebody said to sew it again. Do not sew it again. Do not do that. But I do appreciate that many of you think, well, I'll just fix it on the sewing machine. You're not going to fix it on the sewing machine. You're going to make it worse. Okay, so we have another thing to fix. Okay, so that was half. I'm back to the side seam, and the side seam is going to be up, but I can get that, and I'm back to now having the skirt down, so it's a really easy thing to sew. All those seams are on the bottom. Easy, easy stuff, you guys. All right, did we have a sew along, or do you want to wait for a minute? Oh, you already started?
Yeah.
Oh, so the number is, did you already tell them? Oh, yeah, it's 311. I'm sorry, you guys. 311. 311. I'll show you the pattern here in just a minute, but 311 puts you into the giveaway, and then I'll show you the pattern of 311 as it is. I don't even think we have the pattern anymore, to be honest. I don't think you can get this pattern. I could be wrong, but. Okay, so you know what this means when you're sewing and you're coming to like a point where you started, and this is the last thing. This is done. It's like really sad that we're done. We don't get to sew anymore, you guys. I know we'll come up with something else to sew, but still. This is so fun to sew this, and it's so easy to sew it, and it's so beautiful. So let's show it to you because we're all done. Okay, so 311, would you hand me that pattern? I can show it to them. 311 is, yeah, Victoria's top. I don't think we have this pattern anymore. I think we're, you know, this is probably one that somebody had and we got it back, but I still wear this top a bunch. Interesting. All right, so 311 is what we're going for now. We'll have that in just a minute. So you put in 311, a 3, a 1, and a 1. Don't spell it out, just put it in. All right, so here's our adorable little dress, and I'm going to put it on a mannequin. Remember, we did not press a bit. Get out of here. Okay, we did not press a bit, but we're going to put it on. Let's see, we'll take this off. Give me just a minute while you guys are doing your drawing. We'll change our mannequin because I want to show you how this detachable cape works. It's adorably cute. Okay, those are somebody else's clothes here for a minute. All right. Got to make sure the front goes on the front of her. It's all finished. The only thing you have to do is press. You guys can kind of bet I'm going to wear this dress tomorrow. It's so cute. Is it wrong to tell you that I make my size? You know, that way when we're finished with the sew-alongs, guess what? I get to have a new dress. Especially this one is so cute. It's summery, summery, summery. Okay, we're going to push that away. We're going to push this up here. And then you can see, is she not cute? Now, you can see that obviously that needs to be pressed, but here's what we're going to do. Since we didn't press it, we're just going to put a little belt on her so that nobody will know we didn't press it. You can still tell, trust me. But anyway. And then let me show you the cape behind here. I did press the cape. The cape is ready to go. There we go. Okay, so there's the little dress. Adorably cute. And then here I did the cape. All right, do we have a winner on the 311? All right, and this is the cape. Now what I did with the cape is I just did a rolled hem all the way around. You could, it's a knit, so there's lots of different ways you could finish the edge, but that's what I did. Look how cute this is. This is why I decided to do it sleeveless, because I just wanted something so simple and so cute. So you can put it on straight, this can go to the side. There's ties, the pattern actually calls for ties. I didn't put ties on it. You know, you can lean it off. There's 2 ties that can go here if you want. I didn't do any of that, but is this so cute? I just love the fabric. It's adorable. It screams summertime. It's so fun. Okay, so let's answer questions. Oh, Gail Maloof. Maloof? Gail, M-A-L-O-O-F. You won 311, which is Victoria's top, and I don't think you can get this pattern anymore. So it's called a classic. You hold on to it. But if you'll email me, Peggy@silhouettepatterns.com. If you've never ordered from us before, send me your address to make sure I have your address, if that works, okay? Okay. And thank you, Post-it note person. You know who you are. Thank you. Hello. Okay. Cool, so we can use sleeves from 100. Yes, you can use all your knit sleeves. Isn't that adorable? That would be so cute. The sheared, yes, yes. The ruffles, yes. Ah, good idea, good suggestion. All those sleeves from 100. Okay, so today we were sewing 4222. Let's give it a little bit of time for questions. So you see we did it in an hour. I sewed it all. Isn't it too cute? You know, I was in, I told y'all I went to Miami. I was in Miami a little bit ago, and Miami's hot. Y'all know that. And I was really surprised, and maybe it was just the places I went to, but how everybody looked so nice. Everybody dressed like there were so many cute dresses. So many cute dresses. And they weren't all on cute bodies, and some of them had on tennis shoes, but the dresses were adorable. So dresses are so cute. Don't worry about your footwear. Make them longer if you want to cover your legs. That's the beautiful thing about sewing. You know, you could just make them longer if you want. But they're just cute as can be, and they work really well, and they're a lot of fun. So 4222, this is our Fit-to-Stitch donation pattern. If you donate $20 or more, then we'll send you the pattern. Okay, is that a deal? And then that's all the way from now through Sunday. It ends a week from Sunday, so you've got time. Same with the Fit-to-Stitch Series 12. You know, we've got a fundraiser going on now. There's a coupon on everything right now on Fit-2-Stitch. I think it goes all the way through next Sunday also. So check your email. I'll send it out again in the email tomorrow so that you can see what the coupon is, to where everything on the Fit-2-Stitch site is 20% off. Like not the Series 12 and the brand new patterns, but all the other patterns are. And you can't get a donation. You can't get a percent off a donation, so that doesn't work. Okay, can we see the bottom of the skirt on the dress? Yes. Let me move out of the way so the camera guy can get to it. Can you get to the bottom of that? Here, let me see if we can move this around. Yep, see how it's just got this cute little flare? But also what you notice about the flare is it's equal all the way around. That's because of the many cuts of the skirt. If you start taking away panels, then you start messing with that flare. So totally your choice, but just be aware of what happens when you start combining panels together. The whole reason those panels are there is to control the fullness, where it is, and all that kind of stuff. Cute, cute, cute. Wee. You know, I love having the cape idea because the cape idea is so nice for restaurants. Like you can go anywhere running around in the car, and yet, you know, when you have a little cape on, you can make it cool and comfortable outside, but yet it's freezing inside, so it's nice to have a little cape that goes along with it. And you can always tie the cape around your hip. You know, you can always do this stuff too. It's just fun. It's fun and easy. Too cute, yes. All right. Anything else, you guys? My poor team behind the scenes is going crazy. There's so many things going on here. Are we good? Questions? Do we want to give a minute for questions? Nope, everybody's asked your questions, huh? That means it's your time to do it. So go and do. And thank you for being here. We really appreciate your support. You know we do. We could not do this without you. We would not do it without you. There'd be no reason to do it. You are the reason we do it. We appreciate you being here. 4222. Okay, it's more expensive if you buy it from the Silhouette Pattern site. Don't do that. Go to the Fit-2-Stitch and buy it through the donation, and then we'll just send you the pattern. No charge. Okay? Okay. So that means we'll see you. Oh, we have one more question. Is the scarf you're wearing the same as the scarf I'm wearing, the same as the cape? No. No, this is just a scarf I had, and I just folded it and wrapped it around my neck because I liked it and it matched. So no, I don't even know. Comparably cape size, I didn't do that, so I don't know. Sorry. All right. See you Tuesday night. We'll see you at our webcast on Tuesday night. Bye. Happy sewing.